Hey people, welcome to the channel. I hope everyone had a great week and spent some time outside, stepped on grass, went to the beach. If you have one nearby, spend your time with your loved ones, family, and so on. This is what it's really all about. The rest, not that much of a big deal. It's just video games. Don't get too upset, okay? So I want to do a video here reacting to, is there needless disappointment in Star Citizen's delay, says drinkers with gaming problems. Let's watch it and comment as we go on. And also, I want to thank everyone that has subscribed to the channel. So many people leaving your comments below and all of that love. It's very much appreciated around here.
And everyone know what was going on.
Start there.
I've got a question for you.
Okay.
If you're preparing some things for a group of people and you don't know if one of them is going to be ready in time or not, would you A, tell them one in advance of time and risk disappointing them, or would you B, not tell them, and then if it's ready, surprise them with it? Yeah, me too. So why does CIG keep doing the other thing?
That is super easy to answer, my friend. It's because that's the business model they have. It's a business model that revolves not on selling an actual video game. They're not selling DLCs. They sell ships. That's what they basically do. And that means that doing actual new content, it doesn't achieve anything for them. In fact, new content to keep you distracted with other things other than just looking at whatever new ship they're selling, it's a detriment to their business model. So they don't feel any pressure to do anything new. And when you don't have anything new other than the spaceships you want to sell, and you often talk about them, then what the hell do you talk about during the rest of the time that you're not selling ships? Well, you talk about the things that you don't actually do. Meaning, you hype, you lie, and you deceive, which is all okay. I'm not pointing fingers at anyone here. It's perfectly, they are on their right. It is a business model that they have, and they don't owe you a damn thing. Oh, they lied to me. Yes, all companies lie. Do you think that Coca-Cola tells you how unhealthy it is for you to drink it? Of course not. That's going to be on you. Check with your fucking doctor if you're concerned. But they're not in no obligation to tell you the truth about any of that. Or about how much they spend on marketing, how much they invest on making you associate that particular drink with Christmas season and good times. That's how it runs. The same goes for CIG. It runs on hype. It runs on, yes, lying, telling you things they don't plan on doing, and yet we talk about it. There's conversations. Oh, sandworms. They're going to be awesome. 10 years later, no fucking sandworm anywhere. Oh, yes, hangars. Oh, yes, my own base built in a faraway moon. Exploration of things. Pyro, Road to Pyro 4.0. 3 years later, it's now 1.0. What happened with 4.0? We don't know. Doesn't matter. They show you things that years later they're nowhere even near to be delivered. But that's what you do when you need to have the hype, the conversation going without actually having anything, okay?
About a month ago, CIG made the surprise announcement that we were going to get personalized instance hangars in patch 3.23. This is a massive step forward in persistence. Now, when you choose your major landing zone, you're going to get an instance hangar at that location. It'll be yours to do with as you will. You can leave it in whatever state you want. You can have all your gear strewn about over the place if you so wish. And rather than just popping into existence in the middle of the hangar, your ships will now come up from the floor on a platform, and you'll be able to load them with vehicles and cargo before you ever leave the hangar. It's kind of what people have been after, and it's a big next step towards the gameplay persistence we've been asking for so long. Unfortunately, the roadmap roundup this week had this to say. As part of our final review process, we've concluded that the quality of the cargo features that were targeting the launch of Alpha 3.23 are not yet at the stage we need them to be for a release to the live servers. They go on to qualify that they're talking about item banks, personal and instanced hangars, cargo hauling missions, and freight elevators. Now, they're not being delayed outside of the patch, they are just being pushed back to a point patch.
Bullshit. It's not, my man. It's not in the patch they said it would be. Oh, but it's a point. It's not. It's not there. It's not where they said it would be. You don't have. And let's please. It's okay if CIG lies to us. It's okay if we, in spite of them lying to us, we keep on playing. Now, let's not be dumbasses. Let's not lie to ourselves, okay? Oh, if you hate it so much, why are you even playing? Because first of all, I do whatever the fuck I want. And second, I think it's healthy to be critical even of the things that you do like. I do like Star Citizen. I do not like being lied to, but I understand that's part of the game. I don't like to be tricked in terms of things that are being promised or suggested or a target date, and then there's nothing for years to come. No, why would I say that I like it? No, of course I don't like it. But I understand that that's how the business runs. In spite of that, I try to enjoy what there's to enjoy. Now, let's not be dumbasses. All of this fucking Master Mode thing, it's not, no, Master Mode is not awesome. It's not great. Master Mode is shit because it's the same thing we already have, but limited, restricted. It is less of. It is artificially limiting what you already have. In no way could you possibly think that limitations over what you already have are a good thing. That is against logic, okay? So, they lie to us? Okay, that's their business. Let's not lie to ourselves. No, it's not in 3.23, and putting it in point X does not make it any better, okay?
But it got me thinking. Why do CIG risk needless disappointment in its supporters and backers?
They're not risking anything because they've been doing it all along. They do this year after year and people still buy ships. So for them, the only thing, they don't care about you bitching and crying in Spectrum. They don't care about us doing these videos. They only care about the final result of how many ships have we sold? How much money have we made? Okay, people are disappointed. Okay, fuck them. But how much did they buy? Oh, they keep on buying just the same. Even if we lie to them, they keep on buying. The problem is, if you're not talking about it, that's a problem. They need something for you to keep the buzz going. And even if they're lying, and we all know they are, clearly people don't care enough to stop buying ships. It will only be in the moment in which people stop buying ships that they will look at, oh man, maybe we have to cut off the bullshit about lying every damn patch, every damn year, lying non-stop and bullshitting people this much. Maybe we have to actually deliver some of the things we've talked about because, I mean, they're on to us. They're not buying ships anymore. As long as people keep on buying ships, they don't care.
And attracting bad press from those who are, let's face it, just waiting for another stab at this game. And I'm not sure I have an answer for that. Now, of course, disappointment with missed deadlines are going to be a thing for game development, especially something like Star Citizen that's doing iterative game development.
Oh, fuck. It's been done before. Games have been done before. Animals that have some kind of working AI have been done before. Enemies that actually behave like enemies in video games, it has been done before. All of the bullshit that they told us, it's never been done before, it has been done before. The replication late, the persistent thing. How many times have we been told that, oh, it's going to be you landing on some far distance moon, which they're not. They're already all there. We already know all of them. But you're going to be landing on some moon, and you will find the remains of one ship that got blown up, and maybe in a box or a body, you'll find some flare item. No. Nothing persists. It all goes away. It goes away in the bunkers. It goes away in the stations. It goes away on the surface of planets. It goes away on the surface of moons. Obviously, the servers cannot handle all of the crap being left there, so they just make it disappear. It just despawns. It's not around the bunker either. Why? Because it just doesn't work that way, even though it was hyped for years. The idea, and you know this, they said, oh, you're going to be leaving a pistol under a rock somewhere, and days later, years later, you'll go and no, it's not there.
Doing something that other people haven't done before means that you know what you want to do. You're just not quite sure on how to get there. So even when things seem like they're running on rails and you're set for a release, some speed bump's going to come up in the way and it's going to slow everything down and things will get delayed. We have seen that time and time again, and I think everyone, supporter or detractor of Star Citizen, would agree on that. But this isn't that. I'm not taking a stab at the way they're developing the game. I've long said and been a supporter of the way they're doing it. If you're going to do something that other people haven't done before, it's going to take a while to get there. This is something else entirely. Now, what we saw at CitizenCon 2023 was a whole raft of features after Chris made this announcement.
Squadron 42 is now feature complete and has entered its polish phase.
Up until this point, Squadron 42 had been the development focus for some time, and now that it's where it is, lots of devs are coming back across to the PTU, bringing with them what they can and increasing the pace of development. And CitizenCon certainly gave us that impression. There were rafts of features and improvements that everyone's been waiting for a long time. And everyone...
Is that an improvement? The fucking red inventory there, straight out of Doom 1996 or 1993. This wheel with the grading, that's an improvement? No, it's not. Come on.
Agreed. If you look at the titles of videos and what people were saying at the time, yes. 2024 was going to be a big year for Star Citizen.
Biggest patch ever. Remember when they said that? It was just weeks ago.
So this brings me to the question about persistent hangars. That announcement was made a month ago, and it was made before the final review. Going back to the wording of that delay post on the roadmap, it says during the final review. So they'd announced it before they'd reviewed it. And this seems to keep happening. Now, they hadn't promised this particular feature as part of CitizenCon, so it wasn't...
That word again. There's no promise. No one promises anything here. CIG certainly doesn't. They're not promised, and it was not promised, so why are you even angry, bro? Well, because you don't have a fucking contract on everything they said and then turn out to not actually do. They do say that it's going to be in this patch, so I don't need a promise or a contract or some letter signed by Chris Roberts saying, oh, yes, we promised you. No, you said you would do it, and then you didn't. That's enough. That's enough for people to say, hey, come on. Oh, but it was just a target date. Okay, how many times can you get away with that?
Like they felt any pressure to update us as to what was going on. It was almost a show-off thing. Look at how many things we're bringing across now that Squadron 42 is feature complete, and we're going to add one more thing to that list: persistent hangars. Now, of course, there is lots of technical debt and everything else that's going on in the background with the separation of the replication layer, the steps, the final steps we hope towards static server meshing and everything else. Of course, these are precisely the speed bumps that I mentioned earlier. My issue is, why was it mentioned before that final review at all? It's a video. A video could have waited until after the review date. This has happened so many times with Star Citizen. It almost feels like CIG know that there are going to be delays. They know that they're going to miss deadlines. They know that they're going to disappoint people. They did this again previously with the subscriber item reclamation terminal. So when you get your subscriber flare or your stuff that you would get in competitions, like the Xenothreat Overdrive stuff that's going on at the moment, if that gets lost, then you can actually reclaim that back through a terminal.
And that was one of the biggest things personally I was hoping for the patch. My biggest things for the patch was permanent hangars, a way of getting back the items you either won or even bought and that you have in your permanent hangar, the special armor, weapons, all of that. Finally a solution for that, and having animals that actually had some kind of behavior of some sort. Animals suck, and the other two we don't even have, okay?
or at least that's the plan. They'd announced that as all coming in 3.23, and then a matter of weeks later had removed it again. And as we can see now, we are almost at the end of the first month of Q2, and still no Q1 patch. So there was obviously no rush to get this information out.
It's not that there was no rush. They knew. He said that it was a month ago. Dude, if a month ago you already knew you would not include it and you were still saying you would, you're just lying. It's a no-brainer. Within a month of announcing, it's not going to be there, just a month ago, you said, yeah, it's going to be there. You either have it ready or not. And they were not even close to it, because if there's one thing we know for sure is that CIG shows you everything. Every fucking thing they have, they show you. Even if it's just a picture of something that they're 20 years away from developing, they will show you that picture and make entire videos as of what they've been thinking about developing and brainstorming. If they haven't even showed it, it's because they have nothing. And they knew they would have no permanent hangar, but they still hyped the idea because that gets people interested, that gets people hyped up, and they will buy. They will buy a ship, they will buy the game, thinking that, yeah, next month I'll have my permanent hangar. So that's what they do. That's the reason why they do these things.
There's no reason why the persistent hangars and everything couldn't have happened at the time of release or just immediately afterwards to let everyone know what was going on. Hell, an extra surprise video to go with the release would have been fine. So there were no pressures to get the video out at a certain time that we're aware of. CIG know that there are going to be delays, so it's not like this is a sudden shock. They were aware of the risk when they put the video out. The problem for me is that I was hoping that with the movement of staff from Squadron 42 to Star Citizen, that this was going to be a new leaf in the game's development. I was hoping that what was going to happen now is we're going to see far more deadlines hit, far fewer missed.
That's because my friend here in Drinkers with Gaming Problems, he actually believed what CIG was saying. He thinks that they are not lying to your face constantly. I obviously believe they do. I believe and they're in their right. They are in their right to lie to you. It is on you to keep on believing them when they keep on lying, but I had no expectations. You obviously think this Squadron 42 is feature complete? You think there's much of an actual Squadron 42 at this point? They show you what they had. Do you think it's going to be released, next year? In 2 years? You think if they actually had a game complete, ready to deliver in just 2 years, they wouldn't be boasting about it, showing it off, right? Doing trailers and having little test runs of it and promoting the shit out of it. Of course they would. They're not doing any of that because they don't have a damn thing yet. I guess they have something, but it's just a matter of polishing it. Yeah, sure. You're going to be spending 3, 4, 5 more years polishing, and then it's going to be some other excuse. But at no point did I ever think that they would have more people working on something that they clearly have no intention of wasting resources and money on. Why would you make game content? Why would you deliver on any of these things that you've been talking about? Since obviously just talking about it is good enough to keep the sales going the way they are. It would be stupid for them to actually deliver on these things or make new content, give you planets or moons and places and cities to explore, DLCs a couple times a year with real new content. No, why? Why do that? If people buy them anyway, people buy ships anyway. The moment in which people stop buying ships and giving them money, that's the only way in which I would change my model. That's what I would do. So I cannot be surprised by CIG doing the exact same thing that I would do myself.
More features in each patch being delivered, which is only a natural aspiration now that you're moving more devs across. And even so, that first patch now after CitizenCon, the first full patch with the staff now working.
My dude, they fired people. They didn't have more people. They have less people than before. They fired people. We don't even know who's really working and how much. You honestly think there's 1,000 people working on this game for a year, for 2 years? In these months alone, if they had nearly the amount of people they say are working on it, you would see it. You would see new content. You would see significant progress. It was even a shadow of the amount of people they say are working there.
On it, we are straight back into delays. Those people who want to have a stab at Star Citizen and Squadron 42 and everything else can say once again that nothing has really changed because we're still having disappointing delays that really don't need to happen. This delay could have been kept behind closed doors, and if it made it into 323, surprise! If it didn't make it into 323, no one would have been any the wiser, and this sense of disappointment that people are now feeling.
He doesn't understand. I get it. I'm not, that's okay. I don't even know the guy. He's probably the nicest person on the planet. He does not understand how the company works. The company works on hyping the living crap out of everything and anything, making promises. Yes, telling you this is what you will have. That's a promise. In terms of how serious a video game is, yeah, that's a promise. In 323, you will have this. In 322, you will have that. Those are things you would come to expect. They said you would have it. That's enough. I don't need a written statement by a notary and signed by Chris Roberts. They said it would be there. I guess it's going to be there. Now, since we know what they're about, we know that they're most likely lying. And they know. You honestly think that they are this shitty company that has no idea what they're going to be doing a month from now. They don't have no goals about what you need to be releasing this year or next month. Of course they do. They know. They don't share it with us. Of course they don't. But no company. And you think that a $500 million company has no schedule or idea on what they're working on and what actually needs to be delivered? Yes, but it's not the things that they tell you they are going to deliver. They have no intention. Maybe it's going to be, the Hornet C7MK2, that needs to be in the game by this date. You better not fuck up because you get fired, right? Those are the real landmarks and release dates and the goals for the company, the internal working of the company. Those are the real deadlines that they're dealing with. The bullshit they tell us, those were never a plan at all.
Would not have had to have occurred at all. If I was to phrase this another way, I would say that we understand that freight elevators and cargo hauling missions need more work. We understand that the delays to these things were inevitable, just as it was with persistent hangars. But you've been talking, CIG, about cargo elevators and cargo hauling for quite some time. This surprise feature, which would have been great to have bundled in with 323, which you could now bundle in with a point patch as a surprise with a video imminently before or after release,
surprise,
has now turned into yet something else that people are disappointed about. And this isn't the way we wanted the year to start. Really looking forward to all the other features that are coming in 323. I'm still massively hyped. I still believe, unsurprisingly, that this year is going to be very good for Star Citizen.
What new feature are you hyped about? What is it? Master modes? Creatures?
Given how many features are coming. But when you really support a project, it's just as justified to call out the things you think need to change as the things you can't wait for. You've been watching Drinkers with Game Problem.
And that's the thing. If we didn't care, we wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't be making this content. I wouldn't have a channel constantly talking about it. But, as grown men, yeah, there's things that you have to call out. There's things you have to point out that they're still screwing us over. And there is this dynamic between CIG and the players. There's things that are in the interest of Chris Roberts and his company and him making money, which he's perfectly entitled to. And there's the, what us as players want. It's not always going to be the same thing. There's things in which the interests of one conflict with the interests of others. Personally, I'm not losing sleep over how many millions Chris Roberts makes or not, right? I just want to play a fucking video game. On the other hand, Chris Roberts wants to make a shitload of money, and that's great for him. But ideally, we would have a middle ground in which, yeah, you monetize the shit out of it, that's okay, but at the same time, you give us a little bit of an actual video game to play. It's getting a little bit too much on the us being screwed and lied to all the time, and just, hey, buy this, buy that, buy this. Oh, you want to enjoy this new game, this new game mechanic? Okay, go buy a fucking Vulture or a Reclaimer. You want to enjoy it? Oh, wait for a few months, wait until next year, right? And always screwing around. They hired someone that works on monetizing cell phone video games. What did you think they would be doing? Of course, it's all about selling chips and making the most amount of money possible. And the problem with that is that anything that gets in the way of making money, and anything could also include actual game development, actual new content, things that are fun for you to do that don't involve clicking on the website and buying a new chip so as to have some kind of gratification. Well, maybe that's not the kind of thing they would like to do a lot of. Well, we need to find a middle ground where we're both somewhat happy, or not. Maybe it's all about selling chips. And my only doubt, my only question is, how far can you go? How much can you screw over your backers, your supporters, people like myself that actually like Star Citizen? I would love nothing more to actually see a game fully developed, or at the very least, I don't even have aspirations of seeing the game finished, but new content each year, a little bit. Come on, is that really that much to ask? Is it that much to ask for just a couple of those millions to go into actually developing the game and giving us new things to do? New planets, new moons, new cities to explore, new stuff to actually pay. Is it that much to ask? I don't think it is. You will have the shills and Sims over at Spectrum saying, oh, shut up, they're doing too much. No, they're not. It would be nice if they do a little bit for us too. See you next time. Take care.